You care about WLBB Carrollton News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.
Time right now is 8:30. Good Thursday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my handsome young guest sitting across from me at the news desk this morning. Before I introduce you to her, I want to remind you that we are in the first week of early voting for the November 4th general municipal election in both Carroll and Haralson counties. Several races in contested races and referendums in both of those counties. Probably won't go too much into all of them during this program, but I encourage you to visit the elections page for Carroll County and the elections page for Haralson County, because they have sample ballots. You can look at some of those races. Now, one of those races in Haralson County, but I guess there's probably some Carroll County voters that can vote in this too, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
It is the city of Bremen. Mayor Sharon Sewell is seeking her campaign here. I've seen it written 4 more years, 1 more time.
That is correct.
It's pretty darn catchy.
Well, good.
Yeah, and but she's coming to talk about her campaign. We had Dobson Harris, the challenger, on the program, Dobby Harris on the program about a week and a half ago. So when this one's over, you can download both of those from our YouTube page and compare and give your thoughts before you go out and cast a ballot. But I'm sure they probably hope that you already went out and voted, just early voting, just to make sure you don't miss out on Election Day. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. It's such a privilege to be here, and I want to tell you again, I applaud Graddick Communications. I applaud you. You are a media outlet that has maintained integrity, that we can trust, and I'm one of your biggest supporters, and I am grateful and glad to be in this place.
See, I wish I was in Bremen now. I'd go vote. But thank you very much.
Well,
it's
welcome.
all Steve Graddick. We're all fortunate enough to be be able to hang out with him and be in his shadow.
He is a community partner for all of us around here, and I'm always privileged and delighted to come here and just chat with you about all things Bremen.
Absolutely, we enjoy it. We enjoy it every time. 8:32. Let's dive in now. Now I've been here for 15? Yeah, I've been here for 15 years, and I remember the first time that the meeting that I went to, and I don't even know if I've told you this, but the first, so it would have been like 2008, 2009, and I'd already gone to Carrollton City Council meeting, I'd already gone to Temple City Council, I'd already gone to Villa Rica City Council, and I just thought every single meeting was going to be contentious. I was like, wow, man, these are a little wild here. And then I went to the Bremen City Council meeting, and it was just well organized, it was calm, and I may have even told you that night, I was just like, it's a classy dame running this joint. So, but I mean, it was a noticeable difference between those city council meetings at that time. Things have changed. Everybody's good and loves each other at all those meetings now. But yeah, that's always just stuck out with me. And again, I recognize the last name. I recognize the significance in that community. I mean, would you mind going back there? I mean, giving me your background, telling me your story. I know you from 15 years, but I don't know the backstory for Sharon Sewell.
Well, I was born in Bremen. Back then, the Bremen Hospital was up on Hamilton Avenue, not far from the hub. And Dr. O.D. King started that hospital, and of course it's become now a Tanner facility that is wonderful. We are so grateful to have that emergency room, especially there, just right in Bremen. But I was born there, and I have never married, so I'm genetic Sewell, and have their impatience. And my dad... my grandfather and Warren Sewell Sr. and Roy Sewell Sr., and there were others, but they were brothers. My grandfather was in the beginning of the Sewell part, was in charge of retail sales. My great-grandmother's maiden name was Gay, and my granddaddy's name was Carl Gay Sewell, and he opened Gay Clothing Company in downtown Atlanta, but then went to war. And I've been told that he was in charge of the Marine Battalion that set up Guantanamo Naval Base. And Granddaddy came home with mental problems and some alcoholism, and all the days that I knew him, he was in a veterans hospital in Alabama. And my dad, he and my grandmother divorced, and my dad was raised by his maternal grandmother in Bowden, Georgia. And so Daddy quit school when he was 14 and got a job at the rubber plant in Bowden. And then
And that was there till about 10 years ago,
yes,
right?
uh-huh. And about a couple of years ago, he came to Bremen and went to work for Sewell Manufacturing Company and had the Sewell genes that he could sell ice to an Eskimo. And he and my mother actually met at Sewell Manufacturing Company, and they married when they were 17 and 18 years old. And then Daddy split off and started his own business in 1955, the Ray Sewell Industries. And so we grew up in it, and we watched it, we knew it. We knew the hard places. And I remember when NAFTA came along and was destroying everything, Daddy called my brother, Ray, and me into his office and said, we can go to Mexico and build a plant and make suits, cut, make, trim, for less than the taxes we're paying on that suit in this country.
So he probably saw the end at that point, too?
He saw it. And Ray and I said, we don't want to go to Mexico. So Daddy really was the first one to close the doors. It was really hard for him. That was his identity. But Daddy got involved in banking and a lot of other things. And so in around 1988, we closed the Ray Sewell Company. But do you know he locked the doors and never moved a machine? And when my dad died in 1996, my brother and I had to start from scratch with all of that, getting rid of it because he just couldn't do it. But
have you been in public service then your whole life here, Sharon? The last 20 years?
One way or another, I
Yeah,
guess.
really? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, Sharon Sewell, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, Mayor of Bremen, and seeking, and she's come out and said, hey, 4 more years, just give me one little shot in there.
I need one more term.
Why do you need that one more term? I think about 20, it's 20 years, right, that you've been in office?
Well, if you don't tell anybody, it's 24.
24, okay. Well, there's a phrase that maybe Thomas Jefferson or Ben Franklin said. It had to do with revolution every 20 years. I can't remember. I don't want to quote it exactly because somebody will post it on Facebook that I was wrong. But it was something similar to that. So if you think about that 20-year period.
I'll be completing 6 terms, and 7 is the number of completion. So I need one more term to have 7.
7, wow. Well, how has the city changed? I mean, I guess under your leadership.
Oh, honey. Do you want me to be really honest with you, or do you want me to?
No, just give us the smooth, glossed over. No. Give us the hard stuff. I mean, we're talking. Was it 2000?
I was running for mayor in the 9/11 tragedy in 2001.
Oh wow. Okay.
One of my boldest memories, and I don't know, I was actually working at that time as a speech pathologist for the Bremen City School System at Jones Elementary School. And I had an office there, and all of this was the day after the bombing, the attack. And I had put a flag up outside my room and just stuck it on the door with some masking tape. And I happened to be standing in the hall, and these 2 little girls, probably first, second grade, were scurrying in the school. It was first thing in the morning. They'd just gotten out of the car. They were on their way to the class, and all of a sudden they came to a screeching halt, just and looked at that flag and saluted and walked on down the hall. And I thought, you know what? That's what this is all about. And but our city was on the verge of ruins. It was not anybody's fault. The former mayor was a good man. I think I've thought a lot lately about riptides. Have you ever watched a riptide? I've seen pictures of them. The horror of being caught in a riptide. What do you do? But what happens is we can get caught up in riptide mindsets, and we get carried by something that takes us to a place we never intended to go. And that's kind of what had happened to Bremen. It was a dreadfully divided place. Long-term lifetime family members weren't speaking to each other. And we were on the verge of losing the city. And we were on the verge of bankruptcy. And all of it was because there was a disagreement over a golf course. So it shows you how you can take one tiny thing and destroy a huge forest. And so that's what had happened, and I worried about it. Again, I didn't have children, but my brother and sister-in-law have always been good to let me claim theirs. And Trip Sewell is my nephew, and Callie Sewell is my heartbeat. She is a special needs gal, and we've been best buddies ever since she was born. And I looked at it, and I thought, I don't want Trip Sewell coming to me one day saying, why didn't somebody do something? And I kept looking for somebody to run for mayor and couldn't find anybody. I mean, nobody wanted that mess. And I am a believer. I try to maintain a biblical worldview, and I prayed about it, and I really felt that the Lord said to me, you run. And I will confess to you that I said to God, you surely are not talking to me. But he was. And with all of that, he made some promises that he would take me by the hand, go before me through his word, through scripture, and that he would tear down the gates of brass and the bars of iron. And honey, we went to it. And of course, it was not a popular thing for me to run against the incumbent mayor, but the city was in trouble, he was in trouble, and what really happened was even the council members who were so opposed to me became my best friends. Mm. And so there was a healing that took place that was really indescribable, and we've been building on that ever since. Now, there we were counting pennies to make payroll. And, you know, it becomes difficult, you know, when people are anxious for change and wanting to do things. And you've got people over here wanting Christmas lights, and you've got people over here wanting their payroll check. And so to make some hard calls. But I think looking back, I believe with all my heart that the Lord brought Perry Hicks to the scene. And I will tell you, I hope he's not listening.
Oh, I think he is.
I think he is probably the most brilliant city manager.
He is
in
a smart cat. I enjoy talking to him. I get lost talking to him sometimes because he's really so detailed.
His math capabilities are incredible. And the thing I love about Perry is that he's willing to teach it to others. There are just a lot of people who are too proud to listen. Mm-hmm. And so we were blessed. And so what we did was eliminate, we had two categories, wants and needs. So we had to start with department heads and all of these people teaching them the difference between wants and needs. And the tide began to turn. It took a long time. We couldn't buy Christmas lights until about 10 years ago. And it took a long time to recover, but it has been amazing so that now we have reserve funds and we have money in the bank. And, you know, we don't have to worry about buying Christmas lights right now. We have other revenues coming in that we don't use property tax for it. Our property tax millage rate is just a smidgen over 4, and we work really, really very hard to protect our taxpayers and our property owners in Bremen. And I guess people said, what's the best thing about Bremen? I'll tell you, it's our people. And people are our most important product. And it's exciting to me to see our whole city team work so well together. They're like family. And one of the things that we've been doing in more recent years is hiring younger people, so that once we find a person who has our expectations of integrity, our expectations of excellence and performance, people who have the right motive, who want to do the right thing regardless of what it costs, we hire them. And consequently, we've got some department heads now that are 39 and 40 years old. And my goal in the next 4 years is to continue to do that so that when we get to the end of that term, there's a seamless transfer so that you don't have to stop and start all over. You know, I've been involved in church a long time, and one of the most frustrating things is you get to a place, you've got a committee that's in charge of the temperature in the sanctuary, right? And when that committee goes out, and the next committee comes in, you got to start all over again. I don't want that concept to happen in the city of Bremen. So we want to be able to just let it flow, let it be seamless, and let them go right on, because we have a huge momentum going. We are making incredible progress, and I never want that to stop. I want it for the people. I don't want it for position. I don't want it for credit. Lord knows I couldn't do squat without the people we've got working for us. My first phone call is always to Perry Hicks. What are these numbers? What are those numbers? My daddy always said, you don't have to know it yourself if you can hire somebody to do it for you. And so I don't have to hold all those numbers in my head because I've got Perry to do it for me.
No.
So we're in incredible shape.
I was like, Sharon, you subtly tackled at least 4 of the questions that I had here. You kind of snuck in some good answers there before they were even asked. But we're halfway through the show already. It's 8:44. We're going to take our first break, and I'll look at the Facebook page. If you do have any questions or comments for Mayor Sharon Sewell on this morning's program, please post those, and I'll try to look at them during the break. Community Voice, brought to us by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
.46. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest is Sharon Sewell. She is mayor of the city of Bremen. She's campaigning for her, do we say 7th time? Is this?
Yes.
This 7th time. 4 more years, 1 more time is what her motto has been during this campaign. The next term will begin next year, 2026. Again, Dobson Harris is the other candidate, and you have the opportunity to vote early this week, next week, and the week after before the election day itself, which is November the 4th. Again, Sharon Sewell, my guest. Talked about change, talked about your background. How about, is there anything that you can look back the past 20 years that really jumps out to you? It's like, I wish I would have done that different, done that better. Decision that was made, something you didn't do that maybe should have been done.
Really nothing comes to my mind. One of the most frustrating things for a lot of people is that sometimes you have to move slowly. Big ships turn slowly, and you can't just jump in there always and wheel it around really fast. There are things you want to do. You have goals, but legal processes and all kinds of things come into play so that it's a slow growth. It's just like if you're baking bread, you got to wait a minute and let the yeast do its work. You got to let it rise. And I guess one of my greatest pet peeves in my life at this age is people who make decisions without ever asking any questions, without including people who disagree with you. One of the things I learned early on, the most important thing, the best thing I could do was listen to people who disagreed with me. And I learned a lot by doing that and understanding that people that don't think the way I think are important too. So that I see my job as more of bringing all the information to the table, and let's find something that meets the best common purpose. What is the highest common good here? And everybody's not ever going to like it, but what's going to work is it's going to work for you through the years to come. Change is hard. And people are afraid if you make a change that things won't go well for them. But you can't stay where you are and go where you need to be at the same time. I love a quote by Mark Twain. He said, "It's not what we don't know that causes trouble. It's what we think we know that ain't right that causes trouble." And I see that every day. You especially see it on social media, where people come in with all of these opinions and things, and you think, darling, it does not work that way. If it worked that way, I would agree with you. But you just have to take the next step and keep on walking.
You mentioned pet peeve, and you mentioned Perry Hicks. Not that those two go together, but one thing that Perry and I have talked a lot about over the last few years, and we've done a couple of stories on it, is Bremen believes they're not getting compensated properly for the special purpose local option sales tax.
We're not.
It's currently based on population, and
Yes.
but Bremen believes, hey, we've got so many businesses on the Carroll County portion of Bremen that we're not.
Well, let me comment on that and give a little bit of perspective to that. You have to understand, you do know that 20 years is not a long time anymore. 20
I hope
years
it is.
ago, it passes quickly.
Yeah, it does.
It was about that long ago that we didn't have anything in Bremen, Carroll County but McDonald's and the Quality Inn and the Hampton Inn. So it didn't really matter. During the last 20 years, it has exploded down there. And the population has not exploded because it's all commercial.
Right. So,
And so then when a county leadership decides to base something on population alone, I get it. It's the easiest math there is to do. But the real problem, for me, my opinion, is at the state level, because here's what they did. Ever how many years ago they did it? They said, here is a list of suggestions for you to consider when you're making these decisions. Well, we're to the place where we don't need a dadburn suggestion. We need a formula.
well, have you talked with our local?
Sure we have. But you know what? Do you know how many cities in Georgia exist in 2 counties?
It's like 6, 7.
Something like that. Do you think the legislature wants to mess with that? And so until somebody has enough heart of integrity to say, these people are being mistreated. So here's what happens. I don't remember. It's a list of 7, 8 things, something like that. But the 2 most important ones to me, the ones I remember, are population and point of sale. I just think there's some mathematicians out there that could come up with a formula that would balance those 2 things.
Well, do you have to
Because
wait on the state to take action, or can you communicate? Are you able to communicate and convince the county?
The county commission could take action on its own at any time. But the situation is so complicated. It matters to so few people. Now, not long ago, we didn't have but maybe 40 people living in Bremen, Carroll County. Now we've got, I think, 62. So we're coming up in the world, right? Does anybody care about 62 votes? No. And so until it's an issue of, I don't care how many votes it is, it's right or it's not right. But what's happened is those people are being discriminated against. Now, here's what happens. So we come along and, the council elected to have a special tax district down there. And what happens is we have a budget, and that budget is established. This is what we need for this year in order to operate this city. All right, citywide, Bremen, Carroll County completely. And so we make that budget, and we wait for the digest. Now, other people do it backwards. They get the digest and they think, woo, look how much money we can get. We don't do that. We set the budget and say, here's the digest, so here's what our millage is going to have to be. Then we set a millage for overall. So then we have to separate Haralson County from Carroll County. And we take the Haralson County sales tax revenue and roll back the property tax with those sales taxes. We get a good many sales tax revenues from Haralson County, okay, because we're the largest city. All right, here in Carroll County, we're not anything but a worm, okay? And so when they say, we're not going to give you any sales taxes, we'll give you $18,000 a year, okay? And so then you've got all of these stores, all of these people down there, all these businesses, and we say, okay, here's your property tax. Here's what it's going to take to run your portion of the city, your emergency services, your power bills for your traffic lights and your street lights. Here's what it's going to take to pay the bills for your city. Ooh, we're going to roll back your property taxes with our sales taxes that we get from Carroll County, and you ain't got none. So those people then wind up having to pay bills that other residents of Carroll County don't have to pay. Now, could they do something else? Yeah, they could come in with some in-kind contributions. They could come in and pave some roads. They could come in and provide some fire services. You know what they've done that I know of since I've been mayor of Bremen? Nothing. So here we are. And they are a discriminated against group of people. All those businesses down there that are putting about $100 million a year gross into Carroll County revenues, what kind of an investment is that on your money? If you invested $100 million today and got 18,000 back, what would you think? And that's the situation that we're in. We need for somebody to see the problem and help work it out. We're negotiable. We're willing. We don't want, to take money from anybody else, but we could do a whole lot with more than 0.05%, to help these people. It's not for us. It's for Carroll County people.
Sharon Sewell is Mayor of Bremen. She's our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. We'll take our final break and come back with about 3 minutes. I think I'll probably just hand it off. I've already handed off the whole show to you pretty much so far, but I'll give you 3 minutes to kind of maybe, if you can encapsulate all 742 hours of ideas you have and put those into 3 minutes when we come back. We'll do that. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
8:57. Welcome back to the Community Voice. News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. Sharon Sewell, my guest on this morning's Community Voice. She is Mayor of Bremen. 4 more years, 1 more time is the campaign slogan. I probably should shut my phone off. And, 4 more years. What would you do with those 4 years? You going to go out with a bang? You just going to, chill for 4 years if you were reelected?
Absolutely not. We have got so many projects ongoing now that I really want to see finished. One of the things I'm excited about at the moment is our digital museum. Bremen doesn't have a lot of artifacts, a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stories and a lot of incredible people. So there's a small house right up from the hub. Right now we're calling it the Hamel House. It was a house that was brought into Bremen on a train and carried up the hill, the dirt road hill, on a horse-drawn wagon and put in its place. And it was owned, first of all, by Mr. Henry Hamel, who ultimately had Hamel Beauty and Barber Supply. And that house, the first thing was like 1936. So we're building a digital museum. You'll be able to go in there and punch a button and see pictures, see history, hear stories. We'll have a place where you can go in there and tell your own story that would be part of the museum. I'm excited about that. We're in the process of expanding our city sewer system. That's a topic for another day.
I know it's boring for people, but that's huge.
Let me tell you what, the dishwater that you drink, that the dishwater that you're going to use when you wash your coffee cup, somebody's going to drink that water. So all of a sudden, sewer plants become really, really important, and that's a huge topic. We're about to borrow about $12 million to expand the Turkey Creek sewer facility. And that's not a want to, that's a need.
That's a need too.
And so we have got so many things in momentum, in progress, that I really would like to just put a period at the end of the sentence. We have such great people working for the city. We're family. I had city employees come to me and ask me to run again. And so when you've got good momentum, when you've got teamwork, when you're about to make more touchdowns, it's not the time to change quarterbacks.
Sharon, we've got 1 minute. That was nice, actually. We've got 1 minute left. Do you have contact information? People can reach out to you, phone or your Facebook
My
or website?
My personal cell phone number is 770-537. That's an old Bremen number. People say, how'd you get that number? 537-7302, or they can call City Hall anytime. They always know where I am and how to get in touch with me.
All right, Sharon Sewell, thank you for coming out this morning.
It is a privilege. Thank you. I love communicating. I'm a communicator.
I was going to say, this could have been a show we talked for 2 hours.
Anybody to just come and talk to me. I'd love to hear from you.
Well, early voting is going on today, tomorrow, all of next week, and all the week after that, and Election Day is November the 4th. Again, thank you. Mayor Sewell's being challenged by Dobson Harris this year, so we did interview Dobby last week or 2 weeks ago. Go back and find that interview and compare. And before you go make your vote, Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy. It's 9 o'clock.
National headlines and the local stories you care about.